So we're here with our Sailplane Grand Prix USA 2017 final event podium. We have Jerzy Szemplinksi of Canada in first place, Sean Fidler of the USA in second place, and Tom Kelley, also of the USA, in third place. So Sean and Tom, you two were separated by only a point going into the final day today, and it was blue. Why don't the two of you talk a little bit about the strategy you each had going into the day and kind of the event strategy and how you fought it out for the day and the podium?
Sure. Well, at one point is really not enough to be comfortable in any way. It was sort of who beat who. And Tom had proved all week that he flew independently of the gaggle and often flew faster. And in the clouds especially, that was, it was an excellent strategy. Today it was blue, but only for the first 60 kilometers, and then we got into clouds. So I was looking for Tom off the start and tried to get up above the gaggle, which I did on the run, but I never saw Tom until we got down near the clouds. So when I saw him there in that thermal, I was relieved because he didn't escape and run away like he had several days before in the past. And then I lost touch with him again and stayed with the Jerzy train, and we flew pretty well together, but we deviated quite a bit on the final leg. And when I heard Tony Condon go around the 30K mark, I was cringing that Tom was going to be in there with him. In fact, I pretty much expected that he would. But fortunately, he wasn't. He didn't have a fabulous day, and I was able to squeak it out. But it was probably one or two climbs that were the difference today. So, yeah.
Tom, what did you think? What was your strategy for the day? Were you marking people? What was your overall goal to try to stay in the podium?
Rich Owens, Zulu Oscar, and myself have flown around here a lot. So we talked before the flight about where we could maybe stop and find climbs. And after we discussed it quite in depth, we were totally convinced we jinxed ourselves. And whatever we thought of probably wouldn't work. And that was basically the outcome of the day. He and I drove really hard down to Chalet Suzanne area, and that was the area that I first lowered my gear for a possible landing. And and coming out of there, going to Wauchula, it happened again. And leaving Wauchula, not only would I have the gear down, I was dropping water. But I'm sure there's a farmer down there that's very happy right now, being blessed. What I forgot about, and I think Rich forgot about, and maybe some of the other guys forgot about, was Wauchula area received heavy rainfall from the night before, heavy thunderstorms.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why it was so disorganized down there.
Yeah.
So when I left that area of Wauchula and I finally got back up, I didn't know if I was even going to get home. And just as things will happen to you, I pulled a 7-knot climb at Chalet Suzanne, and I went, nah. And then a short time later, I have a little spiritual place I visit, and I pulled 6 knots up to 6,000. And I thought, no, not at the end of the day. No, no, no. And the good news out of all this was Zulu Oscar and I, we flew 2/3 of the task, but he still got home quite a bit in front of me. And I was surprised to be able to hang on to 3rd place. But it's been a great contest, and it's good flying with Sean and Jerzy and the other guys here because the competition level is really, really, really outstanding for us. So, yeah, what Rich and I came up with in our plan, it didn't work. So we're just happy to be here, man. We honestly are happy to be here, Tiffany.
Well, good. Well, congrats on your 3rd place, Sean. Congrats on your 2nd place. Jerzy, why don't you talk a little bit about your strategy for the whole week, and then today I think you were going ahead by about 8 points going into today. Is that right? Making sure that you didn't lose a whole bunch of points and consolidate your win today in the blue.
At the beginning, I like to get a little bit extra points as a reserve for the future mistakes, and I was able to pull a little bit ahead after 4 days. And today I had 8 points gain on Sean and 9 points on Tom. So I would have to arrive really on the 8th spot, and Tom had to win to pass me, or Sean has to win, and I have to finish at 6th place, then I will lose to them. But I was able to keep the control of the group, and the group likes to follow me, so I wasn't so afraid that if I go, that somebody will go on the side. So Sean was with me for most of the flight, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, and then we did huge deviation because of the clouds. I believe at the end, for me was to do the safe finish instead of pushing hard, trying to win the day, because it could really backfire. So for me, it was more important to keep in the middle of the pack, finish the task without any penalties, and then the results will come. And lucky me, Tom finished behind me, Sean finished behind me, so I gained another 2 points. So I got 10 points extra, which was good for me.
Yeah, well, it was quite the impressive finish for you, Jerzy. A full 10 points, I think, ahead of second place. And so just really quickly, thoughts on the Grand Prix format, things that you think you learned from the event, or positives to take away, or reasons why other people should consider it.
I think that we can fly assigned task in the US. For the last several years, we didn't fly many assigned tasks, except Ionia and 18 internationals. We had, I believe, 2 days of assigned task, and a lot of pilots are really complaining about the assigned task. But this Grand Prix showed that really we can fly assigned task because we have gliders with performance, unbelievable performance. So doing assigned task, there's no problem, and there is the proof that we can fly assigned tasks, which are really good because we are learning every time. We are learning something new. I learned from Tom how he goes through the big blue holes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You want to go next?
How about the blue hole? Uh-huh. What's interesting about it is after the start, most of the group kind of has a direction to go. But then as it progresses, the group's thought patterns change, and there's a little bit of a split. And then usually by the first or right after the first turn, the group is now going in more of a split direction. And then usually by the second and even third turn, the group has really been spread out, a lot more than I thought it would even be spread out. And that's what has really amazed me. In the past, under our contest rules and a regular contest on the assigned task, we increased the turn area for safety, okay, because we had possible mid-airs, people getting really close in the small circle. But here, with that 500K radius, it worked out. You knew where everybody was headed to at one point, not spread out in that turn area. And that was interesting to be a part of that, to see that. And so I was amazed by that, actually. And even on the finishes, there might be like one day 3 or 4 of us would finish pretty close together.
Yeah.
But it seemed to be the line did work, okay, like it did in the old school days. Instead of having a cylinder spread out like this, we were focused on a line. But it seemed like it all worked out for us, and it worked out well. Mm-hmm. First couple of days we had 700 feet, and then we raised it to 900 feet, I think, because I suggested a little bit more because of heavy sink. And nobody complained. We finished higher, and there was a wonderful flow pattern to it. So overall, I enjoyed myself. I'm glad I stuck around and got to enjoy the contest. And everybody here, the camaraderie was just honestly great. And you and Tiffany just did I know you guys worked hard on this, and it's a good thing that both of you and the group here, the airport, Rich Owens, all of the management and everybody, they're helping foster and promote our sport. Yeah. And I think that's the most important thing, being an old guy and being around for the years. Yeah, fostering and promoting, we need to really work hard on that. And thank you for that.
You're very welcome. So just my comments on it. Yeah, I think that these assigned tasks and these Grand Prix tasks come with an air of caution. You have to be, the pilots need to be skilled and be aware of the close contact that you have with gliders, especially in the first thermal or two. But it does seem, I've done 3 of these now, to actually break up very quickly. And I think that has to do with the nature of the assigned task, where you have to consolidate back to one point each time. Some line is going to gain over the other line, which starts to string the people out. The next thing is that the scoring, as brutal as it is, it really emphasizes go for the win, and you can't hold back with the gaggle too much. If you do, you'll get medium scores or fall off the back, and so it really emphasizes getting out ahead. And in that format of an assigned task with a close gaggle, it is very difficult to get ahead, and that's why Jerzy and the days that we've all had success have been really special for us. So I love the format, obviously. I think it's a nice change, but I think maybe this is the way to do it, and we can get more advanced pilots here mixed in with some newer pilots, and I'll learn how to do this. So we'll keep doing it as long as people enjoy it.
Well, thanks to the 3 of you for coming and participating, and congratulations on your great finish. Special thanks to our main sponsor, William Soaring of California, who happens to be the Alexander Schleicher dealer, which all 3 of our pilots here flew 29. So
ASQ 29 power.
Yeah, so Williams and Alexander Schleicher will be happy about that. Yeah, well, congrats to all of you. Thanks for coming, and hopefully we will see Jerzy and Sean in Chile.
And maybe Tom.
And possibly Tom as an alternative selection pilot for the SGP World Finals in Chile.